So we had this document that I thought kind of had Alex dead to rights. Now, there's been a lot of updates since then, okay? First of all of his friends came out and shit on him. All of his friends. And that's Memulus, Willany, iNabber, all of them came out against Alex, okay? But then iNabber's ex-girlfriend called him out after he called out, I'm Alex. Now keep in mind, iNabber was like, I'm Alex's best friend for a while. I think they lived together at one point. They were best buddies. They made a lot of content together. They were a part of the E-Boys group. Actually, I should say, Alex was a part of the E-Boys group. iNabber was supposed to be, and then he got shafted in exchange for Willany and Memulus and James Marriott, I believe. But anyway, we're going to hop right into this. Connor X8, Augie's boyfriend, has made a ton of videos about this. We're going to skip some of them. We're going to start with iNabber's ex accused him to understand how this relates to everything. They're trying to own me. I think they can own me. You can't own me. I own you. I own you. I'm doing good, Iron on me. Thank you for the 10, buddy. All right. iNabber's ex accused him.
Now iNabber is randomly catching strays in this I'm Alex drama. His ex-girlfriend put out a long Twitter post alleging all sorts of things against him. First, saying that iNabber knew what I'm Alex was, and pretending that he was in the dark is completely inexcusable. When it comes to her and Fraser's relationship, she alleges that there are physical and mental implications she's been dealing with, saying that the way she was treated pushed her to want to end herself back when they were dating in 2023.
So what does she mean by knew how Alex was? Does like he knew that he was a terrible person, a narcissist, false accuser, or is she saying that he knew that he was Alice or whatever? Is that what she's trying to say? And the other question that comes from this also is like, okay, let's say Willany, Memulus, let's say hypothetically they all did know about all the that Alex was doing, right? Not like Alex would have told them, but let's say they did. What are they supposed to do about it? Are they supposed to come out with it before the victim publicly, like disrespect the victim's wishes? That seems completely. Yeah, so I mean, the main question is like, what do you really expect them to do? I saw this Twitter thread not that long ago, and the thread was somebody tweeting out like, "Oh, this sucks so much," you know, Alex is a horrible person, and then somebody quote tweeted and was like, "All of these UK YouTubers knew about this the whole time, and they said nothing." But it's like, are they supposed to disrespect the victim's wishes and come out when they have no evidence? I mean, that could potentially harm an investigation if Alex is able to destroy evidence. It could make her sink further back into the relationship if that's what was happening allegedly, because now she feels like the world is against them and she maybe is still in love with him. Like there's a lot of problems that could come from that. So like realistically, I feel like there's no benefit to disrespecting the victim, like disrespecting their wishes and coming out before they want to. You can't do that. That's wrong, you know? Could put her in danger. It could. I think Mia mentioned that she and Willany got Alex's YouTube company to drop him over the rumors or something. I remember seeing that. Yes. So Mia Willany's girlfriend made that statement, and then also on Alex's Twitter he was saying he wasn't even getting paid by Omnia, which was his ad agency. So I wonder if these two things are connected. Maybe are they related? I don't really know.
And also just generally accusing Fraser of being a calculated, manipulative liar. Now Fraser also immediately put out a 18-page Google Doc in response to this, but we're going to read Kirst's accusation first, and then we're going to go over iNabber's Google documents. And if you're not caught up, there's been a whole bunch of allegations put out against I'm Alex. Allegations about him being a toxic and horrible partner. And iNabber has been involved in this because he has been putting out updates on his Instagram story about why he was not aware of Alex's toxicity towards his now ex-partner. And I've covered...
I mean, is it that implausible to think that iNabber didn't know about what was going on behind the scenes? It's not like Alex would be inclined to tell him. And when you're in Alice's position, right, when you're the one who in this situation hypothetically is the only one being right, according to her words, if that is the situation, then she's probably feeling ashamed and kind of embarrassed to talk about it. You know, it makes things awkward. It can, you know, what if she tells them and then Alex says that she's lying and then she loses that friendship? There's a lot of problems that can come from that. I have no love for iNabber, but I feel like it's not realistic to assume that he should be doing anything other than what he has done. You know, was I the only one who thought iNabber was gay? I thought most of these guys were gay, honestly. I was pretty sure that most of them were gay. Willany I didn't think was gay. James Marriott I didn't think was gay. I'm Alex and iNabber I thought they were each other, honestly. I thought you were gay. I am.
Heard all of this on my channel, including iNabber's Instagram stories in my last video. But let's get to this video. So we'll start off with the accusation, which comes from Kirst, where she says, "I deleted what I said earlier, but that. I never knew what Alex was. He would often comment how he was an awful person and even labeled Alex a narcissist himself. Everyone knew what a disgusting person Alex was and is. Pretending you were in the dark is inexcusable.
But just because you know that doesn't mean that you know that he's hitting his girl, kicking his girl, like saying he's gonna bash her head with a brick. You know what? Like that doesn't. These things are not in the Venn diagram. It doesn't really work out that way.
He knew about the untrue allegations Alex made against Charlie because he was the one who told me when we were still together. He didn't speak about it like it was a rumor. He spoke about it like it was a fact. I spoke to Charlie about it in August.
So this Charlie person, I think, was the guy who came out on Twitter claiming that Alex had accused him falsely of sexual, and it was kind of a problem behind the scenes, from what I remember.
Whilst I don't believe that anyone knew to the full extent Alex was treating Alice, everyone knew Alex was a narcissist prior to Alice's statement from how he treated literally everyone else. He's cold and malicious in ways there is no way anyone can deny. Alex was an extremely toxic friend to Fraser, who's iNabber, along with so many others, and as someone who once loved him, it was hard to watch. But Fraser admitted to me that he put up with it because being friends with Alex benefited him in his work. Fraser is a very calculated person. Manipulation and lying comes so easy to him, it is disturbing. He is not the same, but not far different from Alex behind closed doors. What I experienced in my relationship with Fraser is something I am still working throughout to this day in therapy. I will not be putting out a detailed statement because my situation is something I would like to heal from in private without the input from strangers online. What I do feel comfortable to say is the way that I was treated drove me to a attempt in June.
This is the thing, like, why even say I'm not going to make a detailed statement? Like, if you're not going to make a detailed statement, then why say anything at all? Like, you're publicly saying that this guy is a horrible person, but you're like, I don't need to explain it. I'm healing. It's like, bro, if you're healing, then shut the f up about it and come out later with what you need to say. Ugh. Jesus. Hey, Tom, I took psychedelic drugs before being typing. Don't do that.
2023. Thoughts and tendencies is still something I'm struggling with because of that relationship and struggling to heal properly. I also got diagnosed with chronic stress from how he treated me. I experienced and continue to experience hair loss, extreme daily nausea and vomiting, insomnia, and debilitating migraines, all from the emotional implications of that relationship.
What did he do? What the f did he do? Jesus.
The physical and mental implications I have from that relationship is, again, why I will not be disclosing what I went through. It is still very raw, and I do not wish for my...
I'm healing, pick scab. Bro, I've eaten some tasty scabs in my day. I've studied every mole on your face. I think there's 2. No, there's 3. 1, 2, 3. Is this one right here? I don't know what that is. I have 2 that are like almost in the same spot, but they're not. I think this one's a mole and this one's a freckle. There's kind of a different thing going on there. Oh, the mic fell. There's kind of a different thing going on there.
Past traumas be pulled apart like I have seen done to Alice. I have such deep empathy for Alice.
So she criticizes iNabber because he didn't expose Alex, but now she's all like, he's horrible, but I won't talk about what he did. Yeah, literally.
And coming forward with her experience was an incredibly brave and strong thing to do. I wish her nothing but happiness and healing from the truly awful things she had to endure, along with all of the other people Alex maliciously treated. She then continues in a new thread where she says, "Sorry there's a bit of confusion with my wording. So I just want to clear up that I was saying Fraser knew the type of person Alex is, and not that he knew Alex was abusing Alex."
Okay, but like, then what is even the point to saying this? Like, what is even the point? Like, in private, he said he was a guy. Oh, how well will it go if you went public? He was like, hey guys, this guy, he sucks. He was mean to me. Everybody would be like, who gives a what was he supposed to do? Keemstar was right all along about I'm Alex. Seems like he reads people well. He's been saying I'm Alex's person for years. He's definitely right sometimes, bro. He's definitely right. Not all the time, but sometimes he is.
I was angry that he was making her situation about himself and acting defensive when this should have nothing to do with him. Really sorry if my words were not clear on that. And in response to this, iNabber put out a 17-page Google Doc basically on the same day, pretty much less than 24 hours after this post went up, entitled it Brief Disproving of the Allegations Made by Kirsty, which is his ex. He links the original tweet and says, "This is the original tweet and the one doing the most rounds. Seems to suggest I knew about the things going on." She has, image on the right, since backtracked and stated that I actually did not know about Alice, linking the tweet we just read. She states that she was angry and was making this about...
I was angry that he was making her situation about himself and acting defensive when this should have nothing to do with him. Really sorry if my words were not clear. Did he really make it about himself, though? I feel like all he's really said in that statement was like, man, this sucks. Support Alice. He was just like, obviously I didn't know. I feel like it's fair to like want to protect your reputation when your close friend is on video doing what Alex is on video doing, right? Like, why would you not want to make a statement and be like, wow, that's fucked up. I didn't know about this. when there's videos of your friend that you've done a ton of collaborations with and have like clear business ties with, saying he's gonna bash her head in with a brick, like obviously you're going to want to make a statement there. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Just saying. I'm just saying. The new name for British men is Brittany, meaning of term femboy Brit. I kind of like that, but I feel like Brittany. I feel like Brittany is like a hot girl name. I feel like the only Britneys I've met have been like certified baddies. I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't really fit.
About myself.
I feel like these are more Liliths.
Despite herself making this about me. And for the rest of this document, I will probably have to fill in words here and
Alex looks like Billie Eilish on bath salt. Bro.
there, because sometimes his grammar is just not very good. Like, now with my friendship with Alex have confirmed was toxic. So I will just fill in little words here and there just to make it easier to read and listen to. Now with my friendship with Alex, I already have confirmed it was toxic. I've had many fallings out with him. Publicly, me and Alex have fallen out many times. And of course, I spoke to my, at the time, girlfriend, Kirst, about it, because she was my girlfriend. And people in relationships typically open up and vent about their feelings. My friendship with Alex is very confusing to me personally. As I said on my story, I'm pretty embarrassed that I didn't just cut ties with him in the past after plenty of fallings out. Alex is a widespread and disliked content creator and has been since 2019. I remain friends with him because I'm a loyal person, but also because back then I was genuinely worried about, I'm assuming he means to say his well-being, and in a lot of cases in 2021, I was also worried too. I'm assuming he means about himself. 2022 to 2023, me and Alex only saw each other walking the dog for the most part, but even then it was still toxic. Then mid-2023, we started gaming a lot more together and speaking way more than we usually did, and that obviously led us to making a podcast that lasted 4 episodes. Then he links the tweet where she talks about how Alex was a toxic friend.
Yeah, I think I have sympathy in this situation for iNabber, because I have had friends who, you know, time and time again, you give them second, third, fourth chances to not be, I wouldn't even necessarily say like a horrible person, but just like a drain to be around, like a life suck to your life. Okay. People who will do crazy when they're mad at you. If you have a little disagreement, they'll do crazy. I have had friends like that. And thankfully, I think I have a pretty good eye for when it happens. And if that person is like having a lapse in judgment, or if they're genuinely a crazy person, and I'm decent at just cutting them off. So yeah, I mean, I empathize with the position, but I feel like I will agree with Nick DiOrio. I'm Alex was such a rat. People should have cut him off a long time ago. Bash me with a brick, says Dojewell. Amelia says, no. Ostentatious, thanks for the 10. Will you ever go on LolCal Live? Cleos, I don't think so.
But they only wanted to stay together because it benefited his work. And Fraser claims, this is quite frankly a bizarre allegation she's made, that I stayed with Alex because it apparently benefited me. My friendship with Alex only did the exact opposite of benefit me, especially at the time of when I was in a relationship with Kirst. I don't really want to be speaking too much about numbers, but the reality is Alex's channel has been bleeding subs for 5 years now, nowhere near his relevance in 2018, and a widespread disliked creator. But also, Alex has also only been in the title of one of my videos he's featured in during the entire existence of my channel. That was in 2018, see below. And he links a picture of a video that was made on Lele Pons, and it says featuring I'm Alex. I believe our last proper collab with Alex was a Morgs video that was in 2019. I've searched his name on my channel, and these are the only 2 videos that come up. The second one now being this Morgs has to be stopped. As you can see, Alex really did not benefit my channel. I went and checked his main channel, and during the period that I dated Kirst, January 22 to early 2023, I am featured on the I'm Alex YouTube channel 0 times. Our collab after that came in July 2023, after we had broken up, which again, I did not benefit from much at all. And then he links a picture.
I mean, this is true, but obviously Alex did benefit implicitly from iNabber being his friend, just because he had a YouTube connection he could go to and ask advice on for thumbnails, or ask like, hey, should I make a video about this, or get topics from. I don't know what their friendship was like, so I don't want to assume too much there, but you know, obviously there are other benefits other than just like giving him direct views from his channel, right? Do you think that in modern day a Bomb Boy 72 versions has been adjusted for inflation? I have no idea what that means. Thank you, Cardiac, for becoming a member. I'm glad I have someone to keep up on this so I don't have to. Thanks for the dono. Thank you, Zen, for being a member for 3 months.
I'm assuming the collab that they had, which is in 2023. As you can see, this allegation is really strange to me. Yes, I regret being friends with Alex, but the suggestion I benefited with him is quite actually wild to me, considering it was a public thing of how disliked he was. I actually was seen as a bit of an idiot for remaining friends with him, and truthfully, that's a fair criticism. Then the next section is the more serious stuff. Now, for context, me and Kirst broke up in April 2023. Kirsty moved into my flat very early on in the relationship after my request, due to some personal issues that I do not want to put in this document that Kirst was facing. I thought it would be safer and better for her to live at my place, and she agreed. We eventually moved into a bigger flat in March 2023. We both needed more space. I wanted a bigger spot. It made sense. During most of 2022, Kirsty didn't really have a space as we were living in a 2-bedroom flat, and one of these rooms was my office. After we broke up, Kirsty remained living in my flat until December 2023. I did not want to make her homeless, and she seemingly had nowhere to go, as she wasn't connected to her family at that point. It would have been extremely unfair for me to kick her out. And I said at the beginning, I'm happy for her to take as much time as she needs to move out, honestly thinking this would be a couple of months. You'll learn why I changed my mind after a few screenshots.
Oh. Uh-oh. Living with your ex for a couple months, that sounds brutal. I mean, I don't know. Depends on the relationship you have with your ex, I guess, if you're amicable or not. But I remember one of the things in these DMs was Alice was like, I noticed, or not Alice, sorry, with Kirsty. She was talking about iNabber, and she was like, I noticed we didn't have breakup sex, and I always have breakup sex. Did you not want to me because I'm fat now or something? Like, it was crazy. It was nuts. Yeah, it seems like these people should not have been living together. I'm curious what he's gonna pull out. Is he gonna pull out her acting nuts or something like that? What is it gonna be?
So let's get into these screenshots. And just to be clear, that means that there was 8 months between when they broke up in 2023 of April to when she left in December. So
8 months. Does she not have a job? Wow, she's still living with him. She doesn't have a, like, how? Was he funding her life, bro? That's a dark place to be. You don't want to be there.
She lived with him for 8 months post-breakup.
Especially when you're like 24, 25, like, bro. That's a ticking time bomb. That's what we call a ticking time bomb. Time bomb.
Then he links 2 tweets, the one where she says he's a calculated liar, and the second one talking about her alleged attempt. He says, firstly, to suggest that I'm not that far from Alex behind closed doors is an absolutely wild allegation. Alex, based on texts, was regularly telling Alice to kill herself, calling her a and multiple other things. Yes, me and Kirst had arguments like any other couple, but it never got to that. Now this is where we get to June 2023. This is what I'm very confused about, and I understand is a serious allegation as she is blaming me for a suicide attempt that month, so she still would have been living in June 2023 at Fraser's home. Now I know Kirsty has depression and does absolutely have real struggles that I'd never deny, but I've struggled to find any reference to that in our texts. Here's some screenshots of me searching for texts related and what I could find. And then
Squad. Bro's talking about squad. All my friends are saying take it slow. Does it clap, Tom? It does, Vince.
he shows text where he searches suicide and attempts to find it, and he just does not see anything relating to it, other than joking comments where she says she wants to end herself because her editing software is crashing. As you can see from these texts, there's no reference here. Now, I am not saying she didn't attempt this, but if this was my fault, surely there would have been some reference to it. But also, let's talk about
I just don't understand how it can be his fault that she tried to commit. You know, like did he push her in some crazy way? Was he like, do it? Like how can it be his fault that you tried to do that? I don't really get that at all. I don't even really get why this person came out so far.
how Kirsty spoke to me personally in DMs in May to June of 2023, which is the months leading up to the alleged attempt. In May of 2023, she went and picked things up from our old flat, which was converted into an office for my work. And I went there after and found a note which pretty much was her saying she didn't realize at the time how much she appreciated our relationship and just in general that she had a lot of regrets. It was a very lovely letter, and it's confirmed by these texts. Then Fraser links texts between him and Kirsty that read, "Hello, I just read your notes and I appreciate it. It was never that you weren't what I wanted. You don't know how much I loved our relationship, but it got to a point where it just felt unresolvable and has caused me physical stress. I feel like every time we have spoken in the last 2 months, it has been nothing but heated conversations or arguments, and I genuinely have started to feel the stress affect me badly. It was just by the ending seriously unhealthy for me mentally and physically, and it still makes me extremely sad. It can't continue, but I just can't see."
These seem like very mature and normal breakup texts. Doesn't seem like anything crazy happened. So once again, I just don't really, I don't really see what her contention is with him or what he did to her. I haven't found it yet. I have seen that she was like straight up having like a meltdown on Twitter today. I'm not saying that makes her more or less reliable necessarily, but like I checked her account and she's just going and going. Like you just go here and she's tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. Like you can just keep going and it just keeps like, there's so much. And you can't even reply, by the way. She's locked replies, so only followers I think can reply. Accounts she mentioned actually can reply, not even her followers. And it's just insane.
A world where it would possibly ever get fixed or change, given everything that's happened. Also, you need to do the work I gave you so you can actually pay for food and stuff. You can't just live without money. I can pay in advance to help. And then she starts saying, "It's sad for me that you don't remember the nice times we've had over the last few months. Things were," and then the text is cut off. Then he captures it saying, "This is me acknowledging the letter and notes how I say I had to get out of the relationship. Back then, it was causing me physical and mental stress. Kirst at the time was also doing work for me because she used to do research for me and edits, which we thought was a good alternative to having a stressful job."
No, it's not. It's not. I know it works with some people, with some YouTube couples. They do really well. Like I mean, Ethan and Ela obviously work together. There's certain couples that work, but generally the advice that everyone's going to give you, your parents are going to give you, and they're right, is don't work with your partner. Don't work with your partner because you're not going to have any way to get away from them. You're always going to be around them. You know, if you live together, especially like when you go home, you're going to be together. At work, you're going to be together. You're going to have these emotions mixing in, your attraction to them. Whatever problems you have from the relationship is going to be mixed into the work stuff as well. So that's a big problem. That sucks. You know, what's up, Gio? So that's a big issue. And then if you rely on them for your business and the relationship doesn't work out, then you're immediately going to lose money because they're not working for you anymore. Or maybe they're going to keep working for you because you see it as unethical to kick them out of your little business arrangement. And then the problem with that becomes that you hate this person, probably, or maybe you don't hate them, but you have all this emotional baggage with them and you're still trying to work with them and get work done. It's just not good.
And this is her acknowledging the existence of the letter and what I said about it. And then we continue from this statement where she says, "Things were getting better and then the dog attack happened and everything backslides."
The dog attack.
"I wish we just try to fix the communication issues when we brought them up ages ago. I still really want to try because I've had so much time to reflect and know where I could have done something differently or approached situations differently. Relationships have come back from worse. It just depends if you really want to or not."
The dog attacked her? Her dog attacked her? Or his dog attacked her? Is it that dog Kenji he has? What the dog attack? It wasn't like a Wilbur Soot type thing where he was the dog. He had the dog in him. I think his dog attacked her. Is that what's going on here?
Can't is the cancer of happen, as they say. But I understand you don't want to, and although this is heartbreaking, I can't force you to do something you don't want. And then she references the work, saying, "I am going to do it. I think I just got confused with all that's going on if I was still actually working for you or not." iNabber continues, "As you can see, she refers to a lot of bad things that happened in our relationship, such as Kenji, my dog, biting Kirsty, which was a very public thing. But as you can see, a month on from the breakup, she wanted to continue, saying that it's heartbreaking that I didn't want to continue. For notes, at this time, I was very depressed. My dad shortly before had a stroke, and then at the end of May, a childhood friend of mine committed suicide. So I really wasn't in a good space, especially to try and fix a relationship, but also have sex, which comes into context in the future screenshots. I wouldn't really mention this, but my libido was lowered massively by depression caused by these traumatic events."
Damn. Bro is so sad he can't get it up. Jesus Christ. That's brutal. That's brutal.
But now I need to show screenshots from June. And then he attaches 3 screenshots, which are messages between him and Kirsty. And the first one is Kirsty starting off saying, "I really miss you and I really hope we can talk at some point. Sleep well. How are you feeling? Do you think you'd come over? I understand that you're busy or maybe ignore me or maybe both. But Frey, I love you and I really can't let you go," which I know that if we just talk about it, we can sort stuff out. "Is there any chance that you love me too? And then this is worth a proper conversation." And he doesn't reply. Then she says, "Can I at least get a reply?" He says, "Sorry, I've been in and out of sleeping all day. I don't really think it's a good idea to chat today. I'm so dead, lol." And then he has the messages cut off, but it says, "with a relationship but still love someone." Then she says, I was upset with the relationship too, but I know it's because I never knew what you were thinking or going through. I felt distant. It kills me that I can't be there. If I knew what you were going through, I could have tried to help. I wouldn't have taken so much personally. I feel awful. I didn't know what was going on. I love you. It's been hard. And I wish we talked. I hate that we didn't. Then Fraser says, what about yesterday? You knew what I was going through with, and you still pressed me on something that I absolutely didn't do. And then she says, I was panicked because my journal got moved when it was tucked away.
My journal got moved? We got a journal girl. Oh, this is just so, there's just so not, I mean, basically what he's showing here is just that, like, there was no in the relationship on his end. They just had a relationship. They ended up living together for 8 months, and that didn't go very well.
Depression was boosted by horrific.
Like, it's just so, I don't even know. She says, can you let me know if I gained too much weight? Is that why you didn't want to have sex with me anymore? He says, pardon? She says, it's just been a real confidence knock. It keeps playing on my mind because when I was super skinny, we'd have sex all the time. But when I got to a healthy weight, it stopped. And usually there's always breakup sex. So this is my first breakup without breakup sex. And I'm wondering if I'm just not attractive anymore. Please, I just want to know if I'm not attractive anymore. Fraser, please. If my weight is an issue, I want to know. Bro.
If my weight is an issue, I want to know. Damn, Jesus. Then he continues the document saying, as you can see, she randomly messaged me out of nowhere, asking why I haven't had breakup sex with her. I had no idea what to even think here. Not only is this just an incredibly inappropriate thing to send someone randomly, I just think it puts me under a lot of pressure. What am I supposed to say here? Obviously, I wanted to say that this isn't the case, but DMs like this were starting to make me uncomfortable, and I really didn't ever want to share these as this was a breakup and a bad situation. I obviously...
Please me. Am I too fat? Please me. Please me. Please. Please me.
know she was going through it. But a shape...
You're saying I'm not hot anymore. I just need to know. I just need to know if is it because I'm not hot anymore? It's because of my new hair color, isn't it? You liked it better when it was black. You didn't like the blonde hair, right?
In the way that she has, and this is the reality of it, isn't fair. Not having sex was a massive issue in the later stages of our relationship, which was caused by medication I was on. Then he says the medication he was on and continues, but also in 2023, my depression was boosted by horrific events with what I had mentioned previously to do with my dad's stroke and friends passing. These things happened before the breakup and after the breakup. But yeah, fair to say I obviously didn't want to have breakup sex, and these texts made me feel so uncomfortable. And then with this text here at the ending of June, she told me that she was being consistently crushed by the hormones that her birth control was causing here, stating that she feels better now she's off of it. But to me personally, it seems that she was very much blaming her feelings on birth control here, not on me. Again, I'm not denying that she obviously was feeling terrible, but to pin that as my fault is not fair. Then he shows...
Yeah, I'll be showing Shaft this stream. Remember for 16 months. Holy shit. What's up, Frankie?
Where she says, sent you the link and then an image. Also, this came up on your laptop. And he says, oh, that doesn't mean much. Just follow the continue and it should fix it. How'd you fix your concentration? And she says, coming off of birth control...
This is just like literally none of this needed to be made public at all. From what I've seen, like literally none of this needed to be made public whatsoever. All right, well, what is the update? Because she responded like again, and then he responded again, I think. iNabber's ex responded, it's bad.
iNabber's ex-girlfriend has put out a over 30-page Google document alleging a ton of different things against him. This is in response to the 18-page Google document that iNabber put out the other day, which was in response to the Twitter thread that she made about him, claiming that he knew what I'm Alex was, and also alleging that he was just a terrible and toxic partner. I covered all of that in the video that's on screen. However, in this video, we're going to be reading the entire 31-page Google document that she put out in response
31
to Fraser.
pages?
She explains a whole
14 pages?
whole bunch of different things that happened with Fraser and his dog Kenji, alleging that she was attacked and hurt multiple times by the dog, that Fraser raised the dog. And
did you address how she said it's fine for her to hit him and struck him twice? Just saw at the end of her document she admitted to hitting him first and then doubled down on it. Are you talking about Alice? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that's not good.
Incredibly poor.
I think to Alex's audience it won't really matter because his audience at this point, the thing is whether or not... Here's the greatest part of these allegations, if you want to talk about the scale of it, right? If Alex was like more in like my community, if he was more like a Nicholas Diorio type, or he wasn't so cucked, if he didn't have this like TikTok, LGBT, Emily BLM, pro-Palestine audience, he might have been fine. But for them, he could have not hit her, right? That you can just throw it out the window. The fact that he called her the N-word at all is enough for them to hate him, right? That's enough. So in my opinion at this point, even if Alex comes out with a big document being like Alice was just as crazy, which to be honest is possible. I don't know that that's going to happen, but it's possible, right? Even if he does that, I don't think it's really going to matter to his audience or the audience at large because he acted so nuts, right? And obviously most people, they see guy hitting girl and they're like, that's worse than girl hitting guy, you know? And in fairness, I'm going to have a controversial take here. I think on average, with all the context and everything, generally a girl, quote unquote, hitting a guy is less bad than a guy hitting a girl, because most of the time when you hear about a girl hitting a guy, it's like she'll smack him on the face a little bit, right? I'm not saying that's a good thing to do, but generally that's what it is. In the case of Alex, she's accusing him of kicking her in the back. She's accusing him of dragging her to the floor. Like, these things put together, that the average person is going to see that as like, that's way worse, right? When a girl was mad at me, I've been slapped in the face. I don't feel, I wasn't physically, she was just pissed off at me. I remember I was like, ow. I was never physically, you know? Obviously, it depends on the person. If you're in that situation, you feel like you could be valid. But like, generally, like, it's whatever, you know.
Allowing him to be aggressive and attack and injure her multiple times, and even refusing to put the dog down once it had attacked and injured multiple people, including her, and he continued to joke about it and continued leaving the dog around her while they lived together, along with a whole bunch of other allegations claiming coercion in the bedroom, saying that she became financially reliant on him due to him pressuring her to work for him and pushing her away from working a regular job, also alleging that he would constantly degrade her.
You're a victim? No. I cheated on her, so... No. I'm not, like, I feel like it was a justified response, honestly. Like, I'm not, you know, it's for me to even laugh about that because it's not a nice thing to do. But, yeah, like, I'm not, you know, I'm not, I deserved it, you know? I deserved it, in my opinion.
Weight and her looks and refused to give her physical intimacy. She further expands on the allegation that Fraser brought up in his document about being locked in a room and forced to not move while he records.
Thanks for the content. Are you planning on talking about what's going on with Dante's and his ex-girlfriend? Yeah, I am talking about that soon.
That sometimes it would go on for over 5 hours and he would constantly yell at her and sometimes not even tell her when he's finished recording, allegedly leaving her to sit in a room in silence, not allowing her to leave, and he just would not communicate with her and just keep her locked away. Now, of course, there's also that and a lot more, but please keep in mind that these are all just allegations and do not harass anyone involved. And I'm putting this in post now because the moment that I just finished recording Kurt's documents, iNabber just put out an 80-page Google Doc in response. God damn it. So I guess I will be recording and reading and posting this tomorrow. There will be chapter timestamps below for each section in the document, but let's go ahead and just start from the top. It starts off with her saying, "My relationship with iNabber. I want to start by saying this is information that I never wanted to disclose publicly, but I've been given no choice. I want to note that whilst there are many horrible situations that I endured, the whole relationship wasn't awful. I had a lot of love."
What if a woman attacks you with a deadly weapon? Well, that's like attempted murder, right? I feel like that goes beyond physical abuse. That's like a crime punishable by a bunch of jail, like a crazy amount of jail time if she does that, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
For Fraser at one point. There are many moments that I hold dear, but they do not make up for the fact that there were also traumatic ones. In this doc, I will be sharing personal stories supported by dates, photographs, and screenshots from social media and text messages. Being that Fraser and I lived together, we were rarely apart. A lot of what happened did not transpire over text. A narrative has been spun that I have made all this up for attention, which isn't the case. Fraser attempted to disprove me by recognizing that I did not text him about our issues, which is groundless. Alice was extremely brave, and it made me feel like I should speak up too after seeing Fraser go straight to the defense on his stories. He is not the saint he makes himself out to be. He is manipulative and a chronic liar. I have never met someone with such a Jekyll and Hyde
Jekyll and
personality.
Hyde. Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what we call iNabber from now on, okay? The Jekyll and Hyde allegations. Look at this guy. I mean, look at iNabber. It's a spitting image. It's a spitting image. What if a woman is alone, vulnerable, and entering an unlit section of the pavement? I feel like I need to get rid of you in chat. I'm going to be honest with you. Sexual, I think you got to get hidden on the channel. I appreciate the dono, but I don't think I can have someone with that name in my chat. That's not a very good idea. It's not a very good idea at all.
him. Regarding Fraser saying I backtracked upon what I said, I posted a reiterated version of my original post to confirm he was included in me saying I don't think anyone knew the extent in which Alex was abusing Alice. I wanted to clear some confusion. I didn't backtrack. When mentioning about physical implications, I was talking about my hair loss. Photo on page 18. Involuntary vomiting, intense nausea, migraines, and so on. I thought that was clear. Someone raised a point which made it seem he physically hurt me, and I didn't want that to be what people believed. Although there was mistreatment in other forms, he never hit me, and I would never claim otherwise.
I just, in most cases, in most cases, I can't see how it needs to be made public unless it's physical, right? Like, he was mean to you, he cheated on you, he fucking ate your dinner. Like, does that really need to be made public? I just don't think so, bro. I don't think it needs to. At all.
Not a backtrack, a confirmation. Him giving screenshots of me in a time where I was clearly in an unstable place mentally just farther proves my point. Handpicking moments without context and using them as a scapegoat when they were tiny moments in our daily interactions in person is something I am not surprised he has done. I have a trauma bond to Fraser, one that I continue to struggle with and work on in therapy. Him using my codependency to disprove my experiences was frankly appalling. A big reason as to why
This girl seems crazy, bro. This girl seems nuts. Did you know Gru's first name is Felonious? No, it's not. I thought his name was Gru. What is Gru's first name? Felonious Gru? This changes everything. Wait, I thought his name was Gru. I thought his name was Gru. What the f? Sneeko. I thought his name was Gru. You're so Sigma. Thanks for the dono. Oh, I thought his name was just Gru. What the f? Is that how you pronounce it? How could it not be how you pronounce it? It's not felonious. It's felonious. There's an I. Felonious. Team Quimbley. Urban sexual. Unbanned sexual. Right now, this is a free speech war in the West. It's 1994 in my chat.
I've never been so public about this is because he has a huge following and the power dynamic between us is crippling and was throughout the entire relationship. But nonetheless,
the power dynamic. Oh, you're an adult! Shut up!
Sharing my story. Kenji was fully one of the biggest strains in our relationship at being mendable. Kenji had a lot of issues with food aggression and fear-based aggression. When he went on holiday, the Fraser's friend looked after Kenji and he bit him when being fed. Fraser told me that this has never happened before and was confused. He lied to me. Kenji had bitten other people before, but he hid it from me. The first time he had bitten me was when I fed him for the first time. I had put the food in his bowl and placed it down and Kenji had started eating, but Fraser was adamant that I needed to wrap the rest of the tin up and put it in the fridge, otherwise he would be aggressive. He told me to take his food away and do that, so I did. I put the bowl back on the counter and started wrapping the tin like he said. Kenji was barking at first, so neither me or Fraser thought anything of it. Then he started attacking me and ripped my PJ bottoms to shreds and got a few bites in on my leg. Fraser admitted he shouldn't have told me to take the food away, but said that he had never done anything like that before.
I just don't see how this is iNabber's fault. I just don't see how this is iNabber's fault. What I will say is there's a fire TikTok that James Marriott made about Deji's dog. Because I think Deji's dog had to get put down because it like attacked someone. And there's this awesome video. This is KSI reacting to it.
Yeah, hey, I want that knockdown. Deji's dog, it got put down.
Oh my god. What?
This is the greatest thing James Marriott ever did. It's the funniest. It may be the only funny thing he's done. I don't really keep up with him. He might be really funny right now, but that is the greatest thing that James Marriott has ever done. Deji's dog got put down. Base.
That's not TikTok. Yeah, alright, moving on.
You can see him trying not to laugh. You really can. He likes it.
My god. Oh my god.
He thinks it's funny. He's like, that's not good. That's not good.
And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to have to censor all of these images involving biting and body marks, but the Google Doc is on Kurt's Twitter page if you're curious to see them. But it's just an image of her leg with 2 patches on it, like Band-Aid patches, covering a bite mark. And she captions it the first bites I had. Kenji also has a lot of noises he is scared of.
Dude, maybe iNabber's dog was Wilbur Soot. You guys thought about that? Like maybe, because everybody's wondering what happened to Wilbur Soot, like where did he go for a few months? Maybe while he was working on music, because he lives in the UK, maybe he also went to iNabber's house to be his dog, and then he was renamed Kenji, and then he bit Kirsty. Do you think that's possible? He was he was nibble maxing for sure. I feel like it's very likely. I mean, it's not. I'm just thinking here. I'm just thinking. I'm putting the dots together, right? Like, Some people talk about Sandy Hook. Some people talk about Stephen Paddock. I'm talking about Kenji, the dog. I feel like it's very likely that that dog is actually Wilbur Soot. I'm just saying. She doesn't want to say it. iNabber doesn't want to say it because they don't want anyone to know. But I can totally imagine, you know, you come home from a long day. You're like, oh, it's been such a long day at work. Everything sucks. My life's gay. My boyfriend thinks I'm fat. He won't f me or whatever. You know, you're hanging out and then you just see Wilbur Soot. He's like, and you're like, oh, good Kenji. Good Wilbur. And he's like, ah. Like I feel like that's very possible. I could totally see that happening. I don't know that. I'm not even making an allegation. I'm just speculating here. I'm just connecting ideas. But I feel like there's a high likelihood that that is what went on. Can you guys let me know what you think in the comments below and enter my free gift card giveaway? Did Brian Martin ever follow up with the threats over your vids over the lawsuit in the Futuristic Hub channel? The threats over your vids. I mean, I think he said he would get it taken down, but it never went down. He called into my stream last week and talked about how the Democrats are plotting against him. Spit on that thing, Tommy. My bad.
He is also scared of people being in the kitchen with their backs turned to him. I was aware of this when I was cleaning the kitchen one morning when I had gotten up really early. Kenji was in his crate and he made no fuss about what I was doing, so when I was done, I let him out of his crate. We had cuddles on the sofa, and then I wanted to make coffee. I made it with no issues and went to sit with him. But then he started attacking me. He was chasing me and trying to bite me in the most savage way I'd ever seen. I was screaming for help from Fraser, but somehow he didn't hear me or Kenji's barking. I ended up pulling a blanket straight and held it out in front of me so he couldn't bite me, and he was biting that instead.
I just like, why are we talking about the dog? How is this related to fucking anything with iNabber? I don't get it. Okay, so this is the dog section. Coercion. All right. Let's go to the coercion part. Deji's dog got put down.
You think he looks like a cute Care Bear. She says, he knows I'm fragile. Fraser responds, he loves you, he's just mentally ill, and then sends her a TikTok. Then she links to some tweets that Fraser made, one where he says, we are in A&E now, but God, like this hurts emotionally, genuinely trying to not have a panic attack in this hospital. She says, the entire time we were in the hospital for my dog bites, he was on his phone and tweeting. I was having to console him, and the reason we were in the hospital was because of the dog bites I need to get treated. Fraser says, I think the worst part about all this is getting back and Kenji is all happy and excited to see us. Just makes it feel even worse. She continues, the worst part was going back to see Kenji being happy. I don't know, the worst part for me was seeing my arm being slung about like a chew toy, having no emotional support from my boyfriend, having to console him instead, and then being ignored for days. The struggles and experiences I had from living with Kenji left me with PTSD. I still have nightmares and have fears of some.
I mean, this sounds like it sucks, but it's just like, iNabber was just a boyfriend, bro. He didn't really do anything. I just don't get it. Like, who cares? My weight. Oh, I'm gonna love this part. Let's go.
Absolutely miserable. And that seems to be the end of that section, and now we start a new section captioned My Weight. When Fraser and I got COVID in the first week of meeting each other, he suggested that we isolate together. I was staying with my family and didn't want to risk them getting it due to them working with elderly people, so I agreed. And this week we grew very close and considered ourselves officially seeing each other. In one conversation we talked about our types. Fraser said that he doesn't find fat people attractive and went on to say that he would probably break up with me if we got together and I gained too much weight.
Whoa. Dr. Based over here. Fat phobic Fraser, I salute you in your quest to find the perfect skinny cutie. Dr. Based. That's what we call him, Dr. Based.
I didn't think he was being serious at the time, considering his weight loss and still being obese himself, but then I did actually gain weight.
Oh, yeah, he was fat, wasn't he? Well, it's okay if the guy is fat, but if the girl is fat, then it's a problem, obviously, right? Then it's a problem. So aren't you big-backed yourself? Yeah, I'm pretty obese, I would say. That's probably accurate. Woke up today and my shaboing boing fell on the floor and shattered into a million pieces. Shaboing? What is a shaboing boing? Bruh. Happy Pride Month. You're my favorite trans, zer, biracial, polyamorous lesbian. Thanks for the streams. Glad you like them.
For a while, this wasn't an issue. But when I got it to a certain size, he stopped being affectionate with me. It started with me asking him for a cuddle and him looking a bit disgusted but still giving me one. Then it turned into only if I can play my DS, in which I would last a few minutes before he would stop and just play his game. Eventually, he would avoid my kisses and wouldn't even hold my hand when we were walking. Eventually, I was begging him and crying for acknowledgement and some form of intimacy, begging in tears for a hug. He started making comments when I was eating saying, sure you want to be eating that? Didn't you already eat today? And that doesn't look healthy. This is when I thought to myself, he didn't...
Bro, it sounds like, if this is even real, I don't know if this is real. I feel like this girl could be lying. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies from her. Even if this is real, like, just go date someone who likes the way you look. Like, realistically. Like, just go date someone else. You don't need to date iNabber. Why do you got to date him? Because he's a YouTuber? Who gives a He's iNabber.
Find me attractive.
Why do you want to be more skinny for iNabber? Look at this guy. Look at iNabber.
Good evening.
I'm not saying he's ugly, but I'm just saying, like, just find someone else.
On the 13th of February, 2020.
He's literally British. I guess you are too, so you're both cursed, but like, just date. What is he even doing? What is this guy's swag? I've never seen his swag like this before. This is a certain level of unswag that you only witness in the movies and the films in Wojaks. Like, you need to get away from this situation. Date someone who likes you. Okay? That doesn't look healthy. The toughest Bulgarian thing ever is the child monarch during World War II for a little bit, later came back after the Eastern Bloc fell and became the Prime Minister of Bulgaria after formerly being their king. Is that true? That's interesting. Thank you, banned SCO, whatever the How dare they be British? That's what I've been saying.
Attracted me more because of my size. It played on my mind constantly and even brought it up when I broke up with him. We were arguing, obviously, and I brought up the fact that we haven't had sex in months. Like in his doc, he tried to say this was due to him feeling depressed.
Are there screenshots for any of this?
But restricting is something I still am struggling with because of the way he made me feel. I went from slightly overweight to now being underweight to struggling with my body image and restriction. Then she attaches 2 images to show this. One from before and one now, which I will have to censor because it shows a lot of body. But she says, restricting and fear of gaining weight are still a big issue for me. Being told over and over that I needed to eat less and work out more drilled it into me that I need to be tiny to have worth. Something I still can't shake from my mind today. No matter how much weight I lose, I do not feel good enough. Then she posts a picture with the caption, I have spoken about the implication of my ex's words to my friends a lot. On my private Instagram, I have also spoken for months about my body issues that are tied to my ex. And she posts a picture from September 2023 where she was wearing jeans and she captions it, not me ready to cry over a pair of jeans. When me and my ex first got together, he told me he doesn't find fat people attractive and that if I gained...
He was like a boyfriend, I guess. Who gives a... Who cares? Who cares, bro? This is so just... nothing. This is so nothing. What is she saying? Oh, she's blabbing. Okay. Last time I was speaking about this because what the... That screenshot of me claiming that I was coercing him into having sex when I don't even ask him for sex and I'm just asking a question where you can clearly see I was insecure. He told me the day before we broke up that it was the reason, and it played on my mind for months. He cropped sexual texts and us joking together to make me look worse when I never coerced him into sex. The second one was from when he undressed me and was tasing me to make me beg for him, and then didn't again when I said, I think we are thinking of different times. I've been open about being a sexual person and being a sub online. Having him use my kinks against me and our sex life as proof is wild and clutching at straws. Well, you don't really get to complain about what's being brought up now when you made a public accusation against this guy, right? Like, you made a public accusation against this guy. You spilled a bunch of private shit that didn't need to be spilled. You accused him of a which isn't really there. And then now you're mad because he responded to you, right? That's what's going on here. She's not a sub, that's just being called a straight woman. True. This is just so... Who gives a... Oh my god, there's so much. Blabbing! Blabbing! I finished ranting now. I'll go back to healing in private and living my much better life now. I don't have him in it to bring me down anymore. The grass has well and truly been greener, and I'll continue to be happy regardless. Yeah, you seem really happy. That's probably why you're coming after iNabber with all this shit. That is just like, who cares, bro? I don't care. This is just nothing. Yeah, your life's so much better. That's why you made it, what, 80-page document or something about iNabber because he didn't like that you got fatter or something. I don't like, who cares? Who cares? And the most frustrating part about that whole thing in the first place is that it takes away from Alice's allegation. It takes away from the attention of, I mean, what this person claims is the most important thing in all of this. She's like, Fraser took away attention from what really mattered. And it's like, bro, you say that, but then you posted all this about iNabber that didn't really need to be out there.